Yeah, what other people was good. Today I'll be talking about advice. And what about advice? Is telling you to know the kind of advice you take. Not only the kind of advice you take, but know the kind of advice you need at a certain point in time. It's not every advice is applicable to you. Let me put it this way. You see, there are some advice that will never be useful for you in your life. There are some advices that will be useful to you when you are in some position in your life, when you are in some situation in your life, and will never apply in some other cases. There are some advices that that doesn't comply with who you are, but you just have to make use of them, right, and do the right thing. Those things might be the wrong thing at times, just to get yourself out of the mess that you find yourself. Let me tell you a story about myself. A stupid story, stupid one. It was a stupid mistake that I made. Just while I was what's the name? While I was a little bit, let's say not a little. I'm not young. I wasn't young then. I was old, but ah. So the case was that back then in 2015, 2016, I started a Facebook page then, and Facebook was really, really organic still then, even though it wasn't as organic. The organic growth wasn't as how can I describe this? Wasn't as fertile, yes, as fertile, as rapid as that of the likes of as the likes of the year 2011, 2012. So I started the Facebook page then, and I started posting stories. I write stories, I get stories from other websites as well, give credit back to them. At times, I don't give the credit if it is just a random stories I just find online. But the point is that I post stories on Facebook. As far the point is, I'm not getting any money from there, but I only do it as just an hobby, right? With the hope that maybe when I gather a lot of followers and a lot of audience, I am going to look for a way to monetize it. But I don't know how to monetize it. But I just feel like, okay, let me just carry on and start doing this thing. So I carry on maybe between, so in 20, that was back then in 2015, 2016, right? I have the normal things that I'm doing in my life. I have a job. I was still living a student. I also have a job then, and I have some businesses that are making me money then. The point was that I was only doing it for what's the name's sake, right? So in 2016, the following started growing to about like 15,000 page likes. Back then, if 15,000 page likes back then in 2016 is a little bit, for a teenager. I wasn't a teenager. I was rolling with teenagers. I wasn't a teenager by then. The point is, as at 2016, I had 15,000 followers on my Facebook page, and what happened was that I gathered this following so much that a post was reaching 6,000 people, getting over then, not unlike now that people getting gazillion numbers of likes, comments, 100 comments, 200 comments, on Facebook. So I felt like, okay, how can I monetize this? Because at that point, my school was on strike then, so I was spending a lot of time on it. And even though, so I felt like, if I don't monetize this thing, is this how I'm going to be carry on to be doing this thing? So eventually, what happened was that I tried to monetize. I tried every way to monetize it. I couldn't. I told people, advertise on my, what's the name, send DMs to people, try to advertise my page to advertisers to come and advertise on my page, but I couldn't land any deal. It's not really for the money sake, but I just feel like, I should at least be getting something just to keep my hope alive that this thing I'm doing is worthwhile. it's just like running a YouTube channel as well. It's not, when you start, you don't make big money like that, and if you are doing it for the money, you are going to get frustrated with it. So the point was that I was after the money so much, right? And that was when I watched a video, a Linda Ikeji's video, where she talked about how she ran a blog for years without getting paid, and at the end of the day, she she got someone who called her up, and that they were paying her, like, was it not 350,000 for an advert or something like that. That impressed me, so I decided to go into getting a website. I didn't know how to create a website then. So trying to learn how to create a website, because where I live in Ibadan, I didn't even know that there is any website designer in Ibadan. I think maybe I'll have to go to Lagos, or maybe even go out of the country, but there are website designers in Ibadan, even though they are, a lot of them are actually quite. So the point was that I got, so while during my efforts of getting a website, thinking that, the likes of Linda actually waited for 4 years before they can find someone to monetize with them. But now this is the day of AdSense. This is the age of Google AdSense, right? So I think maybe I'm going to monetize things with AdSense with time, but eventually, for reasons I can't understand, I couldn't get AdSense approval, right? And while I was trying to build this website, right, even though a website that should be up within 2 hours or an hour, it took me like 3 months. Why? Because I don't know about it. I have to learn how to use WordPress. I have to, even before I know what is WordPress, it took me like a month of research. That's not my full-time thing. And when I actually eventually know what WordPress is, I started, during that strike time, I put all my efforts into it full time, and even when I resumed back to school on my leisures, apart from reading, my second hobby is to sit with the WordPress and start doing all the things that I have to do. So what happened eventually was that after running all these things and trying to make money with AdSense, I couldn't get my website monetized, and I've spent almost all the money I have with me. Well, because I'm really, really passionate about the blogging, because I love what I'm writing about, the history, self-helps and life coaching things. So I couldn't do that, even though eventually what actually happened was that I lost a whole lot of money trying to build a website. This was a website that, you just buy a $80 domain, buy a hosting, install WordPress in the control panel, install plugins and things like that. Maybe things of it, something you can finish in a day or two. If you know how to do it yourself, you can even finish it in a day, as a matter of fact. I blew it up. And I'm not going to lie to you. I lost a whole lot of money, trying to run adverts. Maybe because of insufficient traffic was the reason why AdSense wasn't approving that. And you have to know the kind of advice that is applicable to you. I have businesses that are making me money, but even though I'm passionate about blogging, right, as well, but the fact that I see Linda is doing well, is doing this, I'm doing something like that already as well. So I decided to leave the things that I'm doing to go into that. She never advised me to go into blogging. I only narrated what happened to you and the stupid mistake I've made. That's number one. And when I'm talking about then back to the advice issue that I'm talking about as well. At some point in life, let me go into this. What do they used to tell you? So at the end of the day, I eventually quit the blogging for a while and returned back later, right? But what do people tell you? They tell you don't give up, right? Push hard, do this, do that. With my knowledge of the business then, of the blogging thing then, if I keep pushing hard, I might fall in a dark hole that I might not get out of it in 5 years. Because I was blowing a whole lot of money on it. And I don't have the right set of people around me to execute this thing together, unlike now. So I was only blowing my money off, blowing my money away, doing a whole lot of terrible things. Huh? So they usually tell you don't give up. So I actually stick to that don't give up, don't give up, don't give up saying, because I love watching motivational contents and listening to motivational stuff. So don't give up, don't give up. You have to give up at some in some cases, right? There are some, there are some advices that are useful for you. There are some advices that are not. Now, some people used to say, okay, when a woman is matured, right? Let's say maybe she got a degree or she's earned a skill or a certificate or something. The next thing is marriage, right? It's not for everyone. Some women don't have the personality to get married. I'm not going to lie to you. It is just because of their nature. They don't have the personality to get married. It's not because, but the way they are raised by some people who have forced them to be independent, to be able to do things without the help of others, without listening to, let me say, without having to suck up to someone else, without having to um, follow some instructions they don't want to follow, unuseful instructions. I mean useless instructions they are not supposed to follow, right? Some things sometimes you just have to, just to caress someone else's ego, so as not to destroy someone else's ego. You just have to follow some useless instructions, right? That might be catastrophic to you, but some people are raised in such a way that they can't just deal with someone being the head, they being subservient to someone else. Actually, being a wife doesn't mean you are subservient, right? But that's just the point. Some people's nature, not only women, are not wired or are not structured naturally to be married. That's it. It might be as a result of their environment, and they are not created like that, but it might be as a result of their environment or something. They are not created like that. And what will happen eventually is that such kind of people start blaming them. She is not married. Then a lot of times they get guilt tripped and they get confused by what people are saying, and they go into what they know is not right for them due to bad advices. Let's say you are focused on a project now, and you are planning to be hitting things right. You are planning to be hitting things right. You are planning to be doing some things to hit is, let's say for example now, let's say I have a friend who had his hand on a project that is going to take him 5 years, and that after 5 years, I'm telling you, this guy, from our assessments, this guy would be talking in tens of millions of dollars. It was a really, really crazy idea, right? That even if not for someone crazy like me as well, nobody else would believe in him. And it took me time for me to believe in him as well. And even I only believed him when I also had to do something related. That was when I thought of, like, this is related to something this guy was trying to do. So I called him, like, oh guy, I'm trying to do something like this as well. So I just said I should tell you, like, your idea that you actually initiated some time ago was actually a brilliant idea, even though I didn't support you or give you some encouragement. Well, the guy still carried on. After 3 years or 2.5 years into doing this thing, the guy quit it. Why? Because he lost belief in it. He expected that thing to be paying off, or be bearing fruits of his hard work and effort. In 2 years plus, so he had to quit. So what eventually happened? After quitting, he lost all the hard work that he has put in. And the only reason why he had quitted was because a lot of people were telling him, he relocated to somewhere around where his family lives, right? And you can't move with the wrong set of people and think your thinking would be seen. So he got in the midst of the wrong set of people, and he was fucked up, and his head was fucked up. He lost interest in the project, and eventually he quitted. Hmm? Someone else someone else who got inspired by him, a younger guy who got inspired by him and put his hand on the project, even though the guy didn't know as much as my friend that I'm talking about. This guy now is a billionaire in Naira now. He's talking in millions of dollars. In his early 20s. He's just maybe 21 or 22. You have to know the advices you need. Some advices don't apply to you. These guys were telling, a lot, his families were telling him, what if after 5 years this thing wasn't paying off? Of course, he knew, before you started that it's a risk and it might pay off, and it might, surely it's going to pay off. That's why you are investing 5 years. That doesn't mean investing 5 years means that it's surely going to pay off. But we can both see it. We can both see the vision. But he told the big vision to small minds, and they killed it for him. And not only that, in several other ways as well. Don't let someone who has I don't know how I can put this. Don't let a lecturer to be giving you advice on how to play football well on the pitch. As a footballer that you are, a lecturer who is holding pen all day, to be teaching a professional footballer that this is how you should play your football. No, that's insane. There are only two people you can ask for advice, technically, practically. The people who have done what you are trying to do successfully, and the people who have failed at what you are trying to do. Because the people who have done what you are trying to do successfully, they will be able to tell you how to do it and be successful. And the people who have failed at what you are trying to do will be able to tell you what they have done and has made them fail, so that you don't make the same mistake. But the point is still that even despite that they have the right advices for you, you have to know if you need that advice at that point in time. When someone was telling me don't give up, I just told you about a friend of mine who gave up, and he lost all he had, right? Just because he gave up in it. I also lost I lost a lot because I didn't want to give up. He lost a lot because he gave up. I lost a lot because I didn't want to give up. Why? I am applying the never give up advice, right? He was disobeying the never give up advice, right? And we are both failing. So is the advice a wrong advice or a bad advice? No. The advice is just a wrong advice for us at the point in time that we are in our lives. So that is it. You have to know the kind of advice that you need at every point in time. When you are supposed to face a war and fight it, and someone is advising you to run, and surely you have to fight. If you give in to such advice, you are going to lose. When you are supposed to run and someone is telling you, you have to be confidential, you have to be brave, that might be suicide as well. Know the kind of advice you need at every point in time. That is why Yoruba people used to say, Aborola so fomoluabi, to ba denu ya dodidi. The meaning of this proverb, or a wise saying in Yoruba language, is that we only say half of the word to a wise man. When he consumes it, it will naturally become a whole. A half will become a whole. A half word, a half wise word will become a whole wise word when you consume it. Why? Because they believe that you have some knowledge and some wisdom and intelligence to complement it, to complete it by yourself, and know how to make use of it. But if you don't have anything before and they gave you, of course it's going to be useless. So know the kind of advice you take.